episode of Making the Call of the year 2025. We are back in the new year, and I'm joined by Austin to break down all the action from the conclusion of the NFL regular season, get you ready for the NFL playoffs. We got the wild card round coming up this weekend. We've also got the college football playoff semifinals. We're down to the final four. And so we'll be talking about those games and those four teams and kind of what has happened so far in this new 12-team playoff in college football. But of course, Austin, we will start with our one big headline and what you got for us this week.
Yeah, mine is kind of college themed, if you will. So if you're new to the pod and the new year, first of all, welcome. So I'm an Aggie homer, and so conference play just started in the NCAA basketball, and so the A&M or the Aggies have cracked the A&M. Gosh, the Aggies have
The
cracked
A&M.
have cracked the top 10 for the first time under the Buzz Williams era, and on top of that, preseason NCAA baseball rankings came out today, and the Aggies debuted at number one on that list. So I'm here to say that the hub for sports in the SEC, not named football, is Texas A&M.
Not named
So
football.
not named football, but hey, the football program's on the way up too.
Wait, so
But
there's no SEC teams ahead of them in basketball?
there's like four SEC teams ahead of them in basketball. Five actually. Let's see: Tennessee,
Oh, that's
Auburn,
Tennessee,
Alabama,
Auburn,
Kentucky, and
Alabama.
Florida. Yeah, there's five. But hey, we're 1-0 in SEC play and drilled Texas a couple nights ago. That was a satisfying win right there. It was tied 37-37 going into the second half, and then I looked and it was 54-39, and it ended up 80-60. And I was like, you know, Thanksgiving weekend sucked, but that made it a little better. So yeah, Aggies moving up in the world. We'll see what happens. But
Okay.
college. Also, the big headline, I guess, conference play started in college
Yeah.
basketball, and it's a fun time. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited to, dive more into college basketball. I've been catching a game here or there, but there's
Baylor
only
did just get drilled.
they got whooped by Iowa State.
They got whacked.
Absolutely whooped.
What's
Um
Did you have higher expectations for? I mean, they're or I guess
yeah, I mean, I had high expectations going in. Um I think it's like I think the hard thing with college basketball now, especially like Scott Drew this has kind of been his thing for really since they won the title in what was that 2021.
Mhm.
um yeah, because there wasn't a tournament in 2020. uh is that it's the one and done era, and it's like there's so much turnover where even if it's not one and done, like you've got guys transferring where like we had LJ Cryer and then he transfers to Houston, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm realizing, or I guess what I'm noticing from Baylor is that they they haven't seemed to do as well when they have just like no chemistry. It's a whole bunch of talent that's just thrown together in the offseason, and you're gonna just see how they fit on paper. Because you think about the team that won it all, with like Davion Mitchell and those guys, like they had played with each other for a few years, and
Mhm.
they, especially that defense, right? And like that's what's been missing from Baylor is like they have sucked on defense since that championship team, and it's
Mhm.
because they don't have the chemistry, and that's where you see it the most on the defensive end. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, you look at their four losses, okay? Opening night against Gonzaga, they got drilled. They made like three threes. Gonzaga made like 13. That's a
Yep.
30-point swing right there. Um, then they lost to Tennessee, who's now the number one ranked team in the country. They lost to UConn, which doesn't look as great now, but it's UConn. It was a close game. And then they got drilled by Iowa State, who's the number three team in the country. So um, they've got four losses. I still think they're a good team. It's really going to come down to what do they look like in February and March, right?
Yeah.
So, um, all right, my one big headline. So you can probably hear it in my voice a little bit, but I came down with the flu this weekend, so I'm working my way back from that. But I got to participate in just one of like the great kind of bright sides of being sick is you just get to like lay in bed and watch movies just
Lord
all
of the
day.
Rings all day.
I didn't do Lord of the Rings because I recently did a rewatch, but I've got like a long um I've got like a long. Here, let's pause. You said you needed a break. I can stitch it together. You go
Okay,
take
yeah,
care of what you
hold
need
on.
to do.
I gotta,
Yeah.
Kaylee
Go
walked
ahead.
out because she needed
Go
one.
ahead.
So,
Yep.
okay. All right. I think I calmed him down.
Okay.
I think.
Real quick, you want to hear
Dr. Bradley.
you want to hear some of the jokes that got cut from Nikki Glazer's monologue at the Golden Globes?
I need to go watch that.
It was good.
Really?
Here were some of the jokes that she didn't say. I saw Joker 2, and it reminded me of when the first Joker came out, and I was in the theaters, and I was afraid someone was going to shoot it up. And then during Joker 2, I was really hoping they would. Glenn Powell is nominated tonight for Hitman. Who would have thought that by the end of the year, you'd only be the second hottest hitman in America? Let's see. Denzel Washington is here. The only thing that has convinced more middle-aged men they could pull off an earring than Denzel Washington is cocaine. Kate Winslet is a lot like cocaine. She's white. She's always with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I can't wait to find her at the after party tonight. Daniel Craig is nominated for his performance in Queer, which is a movie and not just what my Uncle Chucky calls wicked. Michael Keaton was so great in Beetlejuice, and Alec Baldwin sadly did not come back to play a ghost because he was too busy making them. Yeah. Her monologue was good.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, she ever since that roast, she has taken off.
Yeah, she's good.
Mm-hmm. She's hilarious.
All right, here we go.
You were talking about
my movie list.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me mark it.
I still haven't seen 1978 Superman. Need to watch it.
So I've got a long list of like movies on my watch list on Letterboxd, and whenever I'm like looking for a movie to watch, I'll usually just kind of like scroll through there and just pick one. So that's what I did this weekend. So the only movie I watched that I had already seen was I rewatched Interstellar because that movie just is perfect.
It's
And
on
I
my
was like, you
list.
know what? You've never seen it, have you?
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's on my list, and I know
Oh
it
my
just started. It just started
gosh.
streaming, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
I need to go watch it.
Oh, dude. It's incredible.
Mm.
It's in my top 4 all time. Like it's on my Mount Rushmore. So I watched that, which was great. I watched the original 1978 Superman, which I had seen like bits and pieces like from when I was a little kid, but I was like, I want to sit down and watch like what truly inspired like the whole generation of Superman, and it's awesome. I mean, the special effects are what you would expect, but even though it was in 1978, there were still a lot of shots in there. I'm like, this is like really good for the time. Like this, it's kind of like watching the original Star Wars where you're like, this seemed like really cutting edge, at that time. And Christopher Reeve is just, he's what you think of as Superman. Like it. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah.
And then I watched Heat because I'd never seen that.
Which one's that one again?
That's Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Not
Ro-
the Heat with Melissa McCarthy and
No. It's from like the late 80s. It's like, yeah, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, and it's like De Niro leads this like this crew that does like these high stakes crimes, like robberies, and Pacino is like the head detective for LAPD, and so it's like they're playing a game of cat and mouse. Pacino's trying to catch him before the next big job and whatnot. It's fun. It's a good movie because it's
Pacino's a good
Pacino
guy.
and De Niro in the 80s, and so they're just like at the peak of their powers, throwing fastballs every single scene.
Mm.
And it's interesting seeing Pacino on the side of law enforcement and not the side of the gangster, you
Yeah.
know?
The other thing I do for you.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's
So I
funny.
watched that, which was awesome. And then I watched The Departed. Have you seen that?
No, it's on my list too. The Departed.
The Departed. Not a co-op.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. That one was really good too. So
That's a killer cast too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg.
Morgan Freeman, right?
No, not Morgan
No.
Freeman, but Jack Nicholson.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Like it's a lot of guys. And it's a Scorsese film, so it's going to be
Mark
solid.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. I said that.
You did? No.
Uh-huh. But anyways,
Wow.
so got to knock out a lot of movies on my list this weekend, which was fun. And the Rangers signed another reliever tonight, Chris Martin. So that's exciting. They continue just a stellar offseason. I don't know how you feel, but I've been loving the moves that they've been making.
It's I'm freaking psyched. The second Jacques Peterson took a shot at the Astros in one of his first interviews as a Ranger, I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Still don't know how we're gonna watch him, but it's whatever.
That should be getting announced here soon.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm anxious. I just want like them and the Mavs just get on YouTube TV. That's all I really want. Please, just get on YouTube TV.
Paid for one thing.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
I don't care what that one thing is, but just make it one thing.
Yep.
That's all.
If everybody was on Victory Plus, I'd be happy. But then if Victory Plus had an integration with YouTube TV, it'd be great. So.
Yeah. And then my one last big headline is I just wanted to let the people know how our college football team draft went, how our preseason bets went, and how the weekly bet contests that we've been doing, how that ended up.
I don't really know that one.
And it's good that Austin's here for that one. But we'll start with the college football team draft. I actually don't know who won, so we're going to figure it out here live on the podcast. Let's see here. Let's do entire screen.
You can go through like who drafted who, and I could. Oh yeah, we can just talk about like biggest disappointments while you calculate.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go 200%. All right. Can you see that?
Yep.
Let's make that actually 190.
So Alex had the first pick based on this.
Visual medium,
guys.
Yeah. So Alex, go watch on Spotify. If you're not already, you don't have to subscribe to Spotify Premium to watch the podcast on Spotify, FYI.
Holy
But
shoot, did I win?
I think you might have won because of Clemson.
Yes.
I think you did. So Alex took, and to remind the listeners, what we did is we each drafted 4 teams, but we did it with the odds that those teams had at the preseason to make the playoff. And the premise was you're going to bet $10 on each team, and whoever comes out with the most money wins. And so it made it a lot more of an interesting discussion than just pick Georgia and Oregon and so on and so forth. So Alex took Miami at plus 170, Memphis at plus 500, Oregon. Excuse me. It's gonna be a lot of those tonight.
Sorry.
Oregon at minus 330. And Oklahoma State at plus 700. Austin took Clemson at plus 170, Ohio State at minus 650, Missouri at plus 180, Texas A&M at plus 240, and then LSU at plus 125. And then I took Utah plus 190, Kansas State at plus 280, Penn State at minus 145, and Alabama at minus 105. And so, yeah, Austin won because getting Clemson at plus 170 turned that $10 into $17. And so let's see, if you add it all up, Austin only lost. Well, Andy got Ohio State, right? Which was $1.54 in his pocket.
Yeah.
So we got that. Lost $10 there.
I'm negative, but not.
So you're negative by, let's see, you're at minus 146. So you basically broke even. Not bad.
Not bad.
Alex ended up, he went 1 for 4 because he missed Clemson, or not Clemson, sorry, Miami, Memphis, Oklahoma State, and then he got Georgia for $1.67. So he was down 28-33.
Yeah.
And then my wins. Oh wait, no, he got Oregon too. I missed that one. Sorry, I'm just doing this on the fly here. Is that it?
Doesn't need his TI calculator for this.
Oh, did we do 5 picks? Oh, we did 5 picks. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, down 25-30 off of 5 picks. And then so you actually lost, I think, $12.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost $12. And then I got Penn State right for $6.90.
Nice.
So that was my only win. So then that means that I was down
But I think you
$33.
Oh yeah. Alex barely snaked you.
Yeah. So we'll do that next year. I think that was a lot of fun.
That was a good way to do it. I remember enjoying that draft because it was like, I don't know, just whoever lost the least amount of money.
I think where we messed up is
we didn't take enough sure things.
We didn't take enough sure things. Like Tennessee didn't get drafted, Notre Dame didn't get drafted, and we all struck out on guessing which Power 5 team was going to make it. Because you see, like we drafted Memphis. We drafted Liberty, but like we didn't get Boise State.
Yeah.
So, and we were way off on the Big 12.
Yeah.
Way off on the Big 12. We drafted Oklahoma State and Kansas State and Utah.
What were Arizona State's preseason odds to make?
They were projected to finish dead last.
You got Arizona State preseason odds?
Preseason college football playoff odds. Let me see. All right, let's see.
Arizona State was up there. Or no,
no, that was to win it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's to win it. So let's see. Playoff format. Okay, no, this isn't it. I'll look for it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then I wanted to give everyone an update of where we're at on our the preseason bets that we made. So as we went through kind of the division previews, we each had like our favorite bet for whoever was on the podcast that week.
One of mine hit.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Woo.
Yeah, you had our biggest. No.
Oh, dang.
You had our second biggest single bet winner. So where it stands, we came up with a total for all the division preview pods. We came up with a total of 26 bets. So the premise was you're going to bet $10 on each one of these, and we'll see how much money we win at the end of it. We've got one bet still pending, which was Rosie's bet for the Lions to win the NFC Championship. That was at 5-1. So there's $50 still out there that we could win. If the Lions do not win the NFC Championship, we will be down $4.67 on the year.
Not bad.
So our best bets in the NFC East, which me, you, and Rosie, clean sweep. We went 3 for 3.
Nice.
I had Dallas to miss the playoffs, a plus 170. You had top 2 division order being Philly and then Washington. That was at plus 700.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Rosie had Jaden Daniels over 16.5 passing touchdowns at minus 125.
Nice.
So yeah, you had a $70 winner. The
Manly, ladies and gentlemen.
So you had a $70 winner. Our best bet was Alex had the Chiefs be the last undefeated team in the NFL at plus 800.
Nice.
So we cashed that. Some other ones that we had. So I mentioned Dallas missed the playoffs. And then we had some, smaller ones. I had Garrett Wilson over 1,100.5 receiving yards. He ended at 1,104. Count that.
Nice.
Rosie had the Patriots under 4.5 wins. I had Xavier Worthy over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. Our biggest misses. Alex had the Jags over 8.5 wins.
Ooh.
That didn't hit. I had Anthony Richardson 25 plus passing touchdowns and 10 plus rushing touchdowns. Did not hit. You had Tyreek Hill 13 plus receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think he had like 5, maybe 6. And Rosie had Josh Allen under 9.5 rushing touchdowns, which he ended up with like 13.
Yeah.
We had a lot that were really close. So Alex had Amon-Ra at 13 plus receiving TDs at 5-1, and he was at 12.
Oh.
So if he would have scored on that Sunday night game against Minnesota, which we'll get into here in a second, that would have been an extra $50. And then, I think, okay. Well, so my big one that I was tracking throughout the year was I had 17-1 odds on DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet, each with 5 plus receiving touchdowns. And Rome had 3 and Kmet had 4. And those were the ones that didn't hit.
Dang.
And I know that Rome had like 2 touchdowns that should have, like, they got called back because he was like just barely out of bounds or whatever. So, or no, they got called back because of like holding or illegal, man downfield. So
that line was bad. Not the betting line, the offensive line.
Offensive line. So that would have been $170 had that one hit.
Dang.
We were so close. So that's how we ended up there.
Question.
And then, yeah.
Trent's field goal prop
did not hit because he had it, or no. So the Cowboys one, he wasn't on the NFC East podcast.
Oh, he bet that one for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I know Alex had, his bet was 14-1 Ravens to score a field goal in every regular season game. So he had the right idea, but the wrong team.
Dang.
Yeah. All right. Finally, we know who's going to be wearing a wig because of our weekly bet contest, and it is none other than Austin Young.
Take a look at this, guys. This is the last time you're seeing it.
Yeah. So we'll get that wig ordered, sent down to him. The payoff is we don't know yet. We got to decide.
Oh man.
So we'll decide. The payoff is for 10 podcasts, however long that takes.
3 years.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe by the next weekly bet payoff, he'll have paid this one off. So we had a little bit of drama because going into week 18, Trent was 8-9 and you were 7-10. So you needed to hit and he needed to miss, and you guys would have been tied. So then we would have done a playoff contest. But
I already did one of those.
Yeah, I know.
I did that last year.
And you won.
I did.
You beat Rosie.
I did.
We got an hour-long podcast on the history of the Byzantium Empire.
That was funny.
Yeah. Or Byzantine
and then
Empire.
my bet missed and his bet hit. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. NFL regular season, Lions win the 1 seed. They beat the Vikings in, I think, kind of dominant fashion. I mean, what was the final score there? It was 31-9.
Yeah, it was rough. Vikings couldn't play in the red zone all game.
What were your kind of takeaways from that game? Like, you can take it anywhere you want, and then we can just kind of run through the list of them. But as you're coming out of that game, I mean, did it change your mind about either of those two teams?
I don't know. So I didn't watch the whole game because we were having Bible study. But I think it makes me a little worried for like Sam Darnold going into like the playoffs. You know, I mean, he hasn't had. I mean, this is his first run in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. A little concerned there, but you know, it's week 18. I just don't. I don't really know what to take. I mean, it was such a beatdown. It's like, did the Vikings really just have a crappy week? I mean, I think Detroit's that good, but I do.
Apparently, Sam Darnold had like his pinky and his ring finger like wrapped, like he had like an injury to his pinky finger on his throwing hand.
Oh, he was hurt. That's what happened to Rodgers his last season in Green Bay. And
hold on, let me see. I didn't know this, but that's what someone was saying. I'm not like seeing any tweets about it, but I heard, someone said that he had like his pinky was wrapped, and I was like, well, maybe that's why he was overthrowing. Maybe he was like trying to compensate. I don't know. Maybe. It was a bad Darnold game. It was really bad.
Yeah, and it was an okay golf game. I mean, you know, the Vikings still had 2 turnovers despite the loss. They just couldn't do anything with them. Like, I think if the Vikings are going to go far in the play, I mean, the defense is, you know, despite Detroit putting up 31, I mean, the defense is solid, one of the best in the league.
The defense is so good.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think you caught Darnold on a really bad night and Jahmyr Gibbs on a godlike night. So,
yeah.
I don't think the identity of the Vikings has been the defense and good quarterback play. You know, if Sam Darnold was hurt, you know, if he can rest up and get right before, you know, especially the divisional round, I don't know if you take a whole lot from this game, but
I think the interesting thing is I'm trying to pull it up here in real time because I was curious. It seemed like they blitzed him in every key spot. Mm-hmm. They were just saying, hey, Sam Darnold, we know you've had a good year, but I want to see you do this I want to see you do this time and time again. Right. And so I'm trying to pull it up real quick. I want to see.
At least he didn't turn it over.
Let's see. Regular season week. Okay, here we go. So week 18, he had an EPA per drop back against the blitz of. Oh, this is going to be bad, isn't it? Oh, gosh. Yeah. Negative 0.57 per drop back. The only quarterbacks now, this was just in week 18. Or actually here, let's compare. So that is negative 0.57 per drop back. And then if you go on the season, where does he rank? Against the blitz, EPA per drop back. He ranks 14th at plus 0.07. Okay. So kind of league average. The league worst is Aaron Rodgers at negative 0.27. And he was at negative 0.57. So Sunday night, he was twice as worse as the worst quarterback has been this year. against the blitz.
That's bad.
So you'd like to think it's just a bad game. I think that's a huge confidence boost for the Lions.
They're coming out of the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your pick?
That is. That's my pick.
Them being able to host every playoff game, I think, is huge.
Yep.
Because they've got a legit atmosphere. And that defense definitely seems like they were feeding off that crowd, right? And so especially on the defensive end, when you're dealing with the injuries, like you need any sort of spark you can get. And I think they're able to muster a little bit more at home. And so I do think that is going to be important. I'm not sure if I'm ready to pick them to come out of the NFC just because of how injured they are. And I don't want to I don't know. If those two teams meet again in 2 weeks, I still think it's a toss up. I don't think, the Lions are going to be like 6-point favorites or something.
Yeah. Unless the Packers upset the Eagles.
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I got to root for the Packers in that game. I don't like that.
I really just kind of root for a giant meteor to hit Lincoln. So
yeah, exactly.
They're like a Bane to show up.
So we can move on from that one because I think we'll talk about those teams as we'll talk about the Vikings more when we talk about their game against the Rams. The coaching firing. So the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo. You surprised by that at all?
I mean, I don't think it's all on Gerard Mayo. So that's the team with the least amount of talent in the National Football League. I don't know. You think he got punished because he won? I don't know.
I think there was a lot of coaching mistakes that kind of happened throughout the year that kind of built and it made them. And to be quite honest with you, I think if Mike Vrabel is not in this round of coaching hires, then I think they keep Mayo. But I think Kraft.
Why did they not just go with Vrabel last year?
Well, Kraft had said that he had picked Mayo to be the successor like 5 years ago.
What?
Yeah. Like 4 years before Belichick was fired, there's like audio of Kraft talking to someone on the sideline about Mayo. And it's like, yeah, he's the next guy up. Like, he's great. We love him. So Kraft wanted to try out his protege. And then I think he saw that it wasn't working. And I think because Vrabel is out there, he saw this opportunity of like, well, can I just get my next Belichick? Can I just get the guy who like understands the culture in New England and like is going to run the exact same ship, but he's not going to be as ornery as Belichick? And I think that's why I made the move.
I would be shocked if Mike Vrabel wasn't the head coach of the New England Patriots next year.
I will be shocked.
As bad as I wanted him in Dallas.
Yeah. That dude is a Patriot. There's no way he's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way he's not. And then the Jags fired Doug Peterson like 10 weeks too late.
Yeah.
Like, I remember coming on here after their bye week, be like, all right, well, he's fired. And then he wasn't.
He just hung on.
So, you think that's going to be an enticing coaching job, Jacksonville?
No.
I
don't really. There's no reason that I would want to go there. I mean, on offense, Trevor Lawrence. So like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with him long term. You had some decent pieces. You saw flashes from Tank.
Brian Robinson is Brian Thomas is
Brian Thomas. Yeah,
great.
He's legit. Bryson Strange. Like, I don't know. There's just not a whole lot about that job that gets me excited if I'm a head coach looking for a team. But it's a head coaching job in the National Football League. Somebody's going to want it. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it depends on what you think you can get out of Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at that division and you're like, that's a very winnable division. So that's honestly the most enticing part. Is
that job worse or is the Browns job worse? Stefanski's out, right? Didn't they fire him?
No, they kept him.
What? I thought they
Yeah.
fired him.
They fired their coordinator, but no, they kept him.
Man, they need to get rid of that guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, but if
I
you're
don't
just
know.
comparing the two from a coaching standpoint,
1 year stuck with Deshaun Watson.
yeah, but if you decide to if you get permission to cut bait with Deshaun Watson, then that gives you a pretty big grace period to kind of figure this thing out.
That's true.
So, I don't know. It just depends on what you think of Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's what it
Is-
comes down
So
to.
the jobs that are open: Pats, Jags, Bears,
New Orleans,
New Orleans.
the Jets. So that's 5.
Atlanta's not open, right?
No, Atlanta's not open. Vegas will probably be open.
Yeah.
So there might be 6. Might be 6 openings. Maybe 7 if Dallas actually fires McCarthy.
I don't know what to do with Mike McCarthy at this point.
It's not up to us.
Who do you go get?
It's not up to us, Austin.
I don't know. Aaron Glenn? Like, I don't know.
No, we need an offensive head coach.
I know. I hope they
Wait,
keep Zimmer. I really do. The defense got better, and it's because Mike Zimmer came out and said that he wished he had just done what he usually does from the start. I think he came in soft because he thought the culture was good, and then he realized it was bad. On defense,
Yeah.
the buddy thing. The defense got better throughout the year.
I'm worried that I think that they are going to move on from McCarthy, but I think they're going to go bargain shopping for their head coach. Like it's not going to be a Ben Johnson. It's not going to be a Mike Vrabel. It's not going to be any of those top guys. They're going to go find
Kellen
like
Moore.
Ryan Grubbs, the OC that just got fired from Seattle.
Oh,
Like they're going to go find someone like that. And because Jerry likes to save money, he doesn't like to spend money.
He didn't want to pay Cooper Rush his $500,000.
And he talked about in his press conference how he wants a head coach to be on a incentive based contract. And it's like, why don't we put the GM on an incentive based contract?
He said he's gonna die doing it. That's what he said in an interview yesterday.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter who the coach is. It really doesn't.
This year was not on Mike McCarthy.
No, it's 100% on the front office. But I can say that it was 100% on the front office, i.e. Jerry and Stephen Jones, but also say I don't think Mike McCarthy gets you over the hump.
Yeah, but is Mike McCarthy better than Ryan Grubbs?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But with the disgrace, I don't know if Jerry wants to deal with the flack of keeping him.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It's a bleep show.
Yeah. My big concern right now is just like, can we get the Mavs to be healthy?
No.
You know, we got the announcement Monday that Kyrie Irving's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks, and Luka is like on a scooter for his injury. So that's my biggest concern. The Cowboys are going to do what the Cowboys do. They're probably going to take Genty with like the 12th pick.
I saw one a mock today where GT went like 22, and the Cowboys got that guy from Ohio State that starts with an E.
Egbuka,
or Buga, whatever it is.
Oh, that's too high for him. He's not going that high.
Agreed. I'd rather have GT.
He'll probably go like late first, early second.
Actually, like my boss and I were talking today, like the line played better after Zach Martin got hurt this year. And I think if you put GT back there, I think you have a respectable running game. You know, because you got to think BB develops, Guyton develops. The guys on the right side seemed adequate to end the year.
Yeah, I don't want them to take a running back. Not at 12.
Yeah, but it's a splash, and you know Jerry likes splashes.
No, I know, but they need to go defensive line. Honestly, they need to go best player available. Like, take a defensive lineman, take another receiver, not Egbuka. But take another receiver, take a defensive back, because we might not get Diggs back for all of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what they're talking about, is that they're not sure if he's going to be back he's going to be ready for 2025. So now you've got a hole at corner, you know.
Jeez.
I know.
Poverty franchise.
Yeah. Poverty franchise, but luckily we've got the Rangers, we've got the Mavs, we've got the Stars.
I'm so excited.
And you've got your Aggies with baseball and basketball.
Hey, I ever since last year's run, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch college baseball. It's fun.
It is fun.
It is too. The Aggies just have such a great environment. Like even like on the TV with the
even when they don't score when they're playing against Texas. Still a good environment, you know. Sorry.
Dang. I'm still mad.
It's always next year. Hey, it was year one with Mike Elko. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Step in the right direction.
I think I'll take 8 wins in the first season post Jimbo.
Absolutely.
Did you see the video or the picture of Jimbo doing the horns up at the college football playoff game?
No, I didn't.
It really just pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really upset as he wipes away his tears with his $70 million.
$70 million.
Yeah.
You want to talk about poorly run franchises? Like, come on. The Aggies have to make the list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn our attention to the wild card round for the playoffs. So first up on Saturday, a tradition unlike any other, when the Texans are in the playoffs, they get the Saturday afternoon game for the wild card round. It's literally all they play in. Chargers at Texans. Chargers are favored by 3 on the road. The over-under is 42.5. My question to start us off is there a team with worse vibes going into the playoffs than the Texans?
No. Stroud has been awful over his last 10 games. I mean, not awful, but definitely not what he was a season ago. You lost Tank Dell. I don't know. They dropped how many of their last games? I'm going to go look.
Yeah, you pull that up. I'm going to pull up that comparison that I sent you guys of Stroud versus Bryce Young in the last 10 games.
Yeah, that was a mean graphic. I mean, so they're 10-7, but they beat the Titans, but before that they had lost 3 out of 4, or no, 3 out of 5. I mean, the thing is they got whacked by legit teams. That's the problem. The Ravens beat them 31-2 in week 17. I mean,
so this is last 10 full games. CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young. Same number of attempts. Bryce Young's got 60 more yards. He's got 11 more touchdowns, 2 fewer interceptions. So his touchdowns interception is 20-6 or 20/6. Stroud is 9/8. He has taken 22 sacks to Stroud's 36. What is this average net yards per attempt? He's at 5.84 to Stroud's 4.62, and then fantasy points per game. Because this was a fantasy guy who posted this, 18.8 compared to 12.5. I'm going to be really curious to see the kind of offseason that Stroud has, because I imagine it's going to involve a lot fewer podcasts.
Yeah.
But with that said, Stroud, come on, making the call.
I really want to root for Stroud. I mean, I know he's on the Texans and whatnot, but I like that quarterback and head coach combo. And, Stroud, he was really electric his rookie year. I want to see him come back up because, the vibes are bad. The Texans there were spicy for a while. You had hopes for Pierce and then that receiving core, and then Diggs goes down, Dell goes down, and Stroud declines. I mean, it's tough. I see why, maybe his production dropped off because he lost his wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. But
I think it's beyond that, man.
Yeah, he's not making good decisions.
No.
He's starting to look like his test score.
Exactly. Yeah, that testing company is never wrong, just early or just late or whatever the saying is. Yeah. I think you could make the case that the Steelers have worse vibes going into the playoffs, but I still would say it's the Texans, because at least the Steelers, you've got a division matchup against the Ravens where you're like, hey man, anything could happen. Like, we beat them earlier in the year with just field goals, and we have the best kicker on the planet, and they have the guy who used to be the best kicker and is now one big massive pumpkin.
Who won the game in Baltimore this year? The regular season matchup.
The Ravens
The
did.
Ravens won by 17. Rough.
Yeah, so the Steelers won their home game. The Ravens won their home game. So now we get matchup number 3 in Baltimore.
They're going to be down Zay Flowers probably. Right?
Oh, really?
And that's what I read today, is that he's hurt.
Okay.
So I mean, that's a big loss, but you you got King Henry, so yeah, he's questionable. He hurt his knee in week 18.
Yeah. So who do you have in this game? With the spread in mind. Chargers -3.
Oh yeah, well, sorry, we're not talking about the Ravens yet. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers. We were all hating on you at the Chargers at the beginning of the season, man. And honestly, nobody could have seen Ladd McConkey coming.
No, but you all could have seen Jim Harbaugh coming.
Yeah. The
dude wins.
He goes.
The dude wins. That's just what he does.
I love it for Justin Herbert. I really do. And so I hope the Chargers do well. I think they'll win.
I saw this funny thing where someone asked this hypothetical of what would happen because the Chargers and the Rams share a stadium if if both of those teams made it to the conference championship and they had home field advantage, how would they logistically coordinate those games? Because they wouldn't play each other because it's NFC AFC. But it's like that's a quick turnaround.
The high school state playoff, like state finals, where they have one game right after the other one. And
exactly.
One ticket to stay for both of them.
Exactly. But I saw someone say in response to that, they were like, it's hilarious that the Giants and the Jets have shared a stadium for 40 years, and this question has never come up because it's never been a concern. You've never had to worry about the Giants and the Jets both hosting conference championship week.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm going with the Chargers too. Honestly, you could double the line and say it's Chargers -6, and I'd still take the Chargers.
Yeah.
I feel really, really good about them in this game. Steelers at Ravens.
Covered a little bit of it unintentionally.
Ravens are favored by 10.
Oh.
The over-under is 43.5. I kind of think this is a toss-up. I know the spread is 10 points, but I'm not going to be shocked if the Steelers win this game.
It's a divisional game, and it's Mike Tomlin in the playoffs. Like, dude can coach.
Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing, Mike Tomlin in the playoffs?
Like, he's a good regular season coach. But, I mean, they've both been there before. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's, Russell Wilson back in the playoffs. It'll be interesting. You wonder. And, historically, the Ravens have also blown it, come postseason time. So it's it'll be interesting, to see if the Steelers defense can hold up, against the run game. I mean, Derrick Henry had 162 yards rushing the last time these teams played. And, it's going to be a physical game, obviously. But toss up, I don't know. I like the Steelers to cover here, but I still think the Ravens will win.
So Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Steelers have gone, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've gone 7 straight years without winning a playoff game. If they go one and done this year, it'll be 8. Jim Harbaugh, because I don't think his playoff record is as good as you would think. Or not Jim, sorry, John Harbaugh.
Yeah, no, they've choked.
John Harbaugh in the playoffs is since 2017, same time frame, is 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 and 5. So Tomlin is 0 and 2-4 in that time period, and Harbaugh is 2-5. So he had a playoff win last year, and then in 2020 they won their first round matchup. So I think this game's a toss up. I mean, I think Vegas giving a huge spread to the Ravens probably makes sense, but I'll tell you right now, my pick, I'm picking the Steelers to cover.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it.
I think it's going to be like a 4-point game.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 20-24. Let's see, 20-18, because the Steelers will kick 3 field goals. Or not 3, sorry, 6 field goals. That'll get them to 18.
Yeah, from like 50 yards out too. Chris Boswell's been on fire.
If you had to guess, I like putting you on the spot. How many field goals do you think Boswell made this year?
I don't know. I don't even know what league average is. Like
41.
Jeez.
In 17 games. What is that, like 3 a game?
Yeah, how many what was his percentage?
2.5 per game. He was 41 of 44.
He counted
93%.
123 points.
Yeah. Insane. All right, what's your pick in this game?
I think I'm taking Steelers cover the spread. Ravens win. That's my pick.
Over under 43.5.
Under. Mainly because I think the Ravens will like score 30.
I think I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Ravens win, Steelers cover, under 43.5.
Yep.
I like that. All right, next up, I need you to start because I'm about to choke over here. Broncos at Bills. Do you think the Broncos have a chance?
So, it's all about, is Bo Nix going to hold up to the pressure? Obviously that Broncos defense, man, led the league in sacks this year. I know it was against the second string team in Kansas City going on a week 18, but you got to feel good blanking them,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sean Payton back in the playoffs again. It's you got some step up from the receiving core there. Are they going to be able to run the ball? I don't know. But I think the Broncos, I think they have a shot simply because they're young and they're dynamic, and it's Sean Payton and a decent rookie quarterback. Bo Nix victory lap. That being
you were on that, man. You were on that.
I was on it. I was like, he's going. I know he's old. I know he's a geriatric NFL rookie, but we're here. I mean they got a shot. What's the line?
The line,
it's gonna be like Buffalo 9.5 or something.
Ooh, close. Bills -8.5, over under 47.5.
I think I might take the over in this game.
Over 47.5.
I don't know.
You need
teams can score.
You need 6 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Bo could throw 3. Josh will throw 2 and run for 1.
All right.
I don't know. The Bills, it's again one of those great regular season teams. Postseason is so. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
The AFC is just such a weird. I don't know. I feel like this is it's a weird AFC this year. When you get to the postseason, you look at like who's in it. Like, not a lot of people had the Chargers in there. Not a lot of people had the Steelers in there. Not a lot of people had the Broncos in there. Like, it's an interesting.
I'm happy the Broncos are back.
Yeah, they haven't been to the playoffs since 2015. So,
I know. 9 years.
Do they have a shot? I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's like rookie juice. Maybe, I don't know.
I think they do because of their defense.
If you can get Josh Allen,
you had it right when you started, because you started this conversation talking about their defense.
Sacks. So many sacks.
Total yards per play, they are second fewest, 4.9. Only team better than them is Philly at 4.7. EPA per play allowed, they are second. Or no, I'm sorry, they were first at negative 0.17. And they're a balanced team. You look at pass yards per play, they're also second. You look at rush yards per play, guess what? They're second. You look at total touchdowns allowed, they've allowed the third fewest. Like they are a top 2-3 defense in just about every metric. And it's not weighted one way or the other, right? Like they're just a good defense. And they were a good defense last year, but they had Russell Wilson and just a historically bad offense to where now they've got a good offense and they still have a historically great defense. So
the thing that worries me about the Broncos in this game, not the defense. I think that the Bills are going to force them to be one-dimensional on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball.
I think this is going to be one of those cases where if you're Denver and you win the coin toss, you want to receive because you want to try and get on the board first. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want Buffalo to get the ball first, go down, score a touchdown. You're down 7-0. Let's say you maybe get a first down and then you punt. Buffalo gets the ball back. They go down, they score again, and now you're down 14-0. And then to your point, you are playing one-dimensional. So you want to get on the board early so you can actually, play to your style and actually have a chance in this game. How are you leaning?
8.5. I said they have a chance, but I think the Bills probably cover that.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's the weather?
Not
that it really matters. I mean, they play in Denver. So
yeah, it's two cold weather teams. I'm
just curious to see because if you're going to have to run the ball a lot, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills all the way.
So this is Sunday at noon. High of 32, low of 24, low clouds. No snow, though.
No snow. So it's just freaking cold.
Just cold.
Yeah. I take back the over, though.
You don't think it's gonna go over?
I don't know. They said it's a really good line.
It's like they do this for a living.
I know, right? It's like, I can't believe that the over under is that low. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
I don't know. I think I'll take the Bills to cover. Then I'll take the. You know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I'm going over. Why not?
I think that either the Broncos win outright or they get drilled, and it's no in between. I think if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, I like Denver. But this game could be a 2-score game at the end of the first quarter as well.
Yeah, I think the scenario that you lined out is more likely to me.
Yeah.
The one possession punt.
And that might be what happens.
I think that sounds about right.
Where does the Denver offense rank in yards per play? 19th.
Bo Nix had more passing yards than Josh Allen this year.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had like 45 more, 44. And he had one more. We had one more passing touchdown than Josh Allen.
Well, there you go.
But he had 6 more picks, and I think Josh Allen had significantly more rushing touchdowns.
So, yeah, he had like 13.
There is that. I don't really know what Bo Nix did from a rushing standpoint. I mean, dude can scramble for sure.
I can tell you, Bo Nix had rushing. He had 430 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
Josh Allen had
4.7 yards of carries, nothing to sniff at.
531 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, Packers at Eagles Sunday afternoon.
Spicy. This is a spicy
line
game, Andrew.
Philly favored by 4 at home. Over under is 45.5.
Gosh, I kind of like the Packers in this one.
That line makes you think that Hurts is playing, right?
Yeah. And you got to wonder, so the Packers lost Christian Watson for the year. He had surgery to repair his ACL today.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a spicy game. I'm with you. I think Hurts plays. I think I don't know. Part of me is just like this is gonna be just a Saquon monster. Coming off a week of rest. Like this just feels like a Saquon 200-yard. Like I don't know, but I don't know, it's just I don't really think either of these teams are that good.
I'm staying quiet because I can hear you like actively trying to work this out as you go because you don't know how to lean, so you're like Saquon game, but hurt. So I'm just kind of letting you work it out. Yeah,
that's what my therapist tells me. I'm a verbal processor. So
yeah, that's okay. This is a verbal medium.
This is a verbal medium, dude. Siri, I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, my phone just Siri. So
there you go.
That's funny. I needed a distraction to get me off of this endless ramble that I really.
All right, I'll give you a second to process.
Sometimes I start a sentence and I have no idea where it's going. So
I love it. Oh man. I think the Packers win.
I hope you're right. Oh, he's coughing again.
I think that the fact that Hurts has not been cleared from concussion protocol is not a good sign. And I think the Eagles they have some good wins on their resume, but it's one of those things to where it's a chicken or egg situation, right? The Eagles have beaten all these good teams because these good teams have collapsed against the Eagles. And it's like, have the Eagles gotten lucky by having these teams have these like late game blunders, or are they responsible for them? And it's like, you're trying to figure that out. I don't think this Eagles team is as good as their record shows. And I think this Packers team is their wins have been tied down from the fact that they play in the NFC North. And you look at their wins and losses this year. So they're 11-6. Their first loss was to the Eagles opening night in Brazil when Jordan Love got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lost to the Vikings by 2. Then they lost to the Lions by 4. Or I'm sorry, not by 4, by 10. Then they lost to the Lions by 3. Then they lost to the Vikings by 2. And then they lost week 18 against the Bears with all their backups.
On a BS 54 second drive.
So you throw out week 18 because they were playing like they had their backups in because Love got banged up a little bit, but he's going to be fine. So like Malik Willis was in. So you take out week 18. And honestly, I think you take out the Eagles loss in week 1 because Jordan Love got hurt, right?
Yeah, they still only lost by 5.
All their losses are to the Lions and the Vikings.
Sheesh, you're right.
Like, they beat the Rams. They beat the Niners. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Seahawks. Like, they beat all these teams. Now, you could argue and be like, yeah, they lost to the Vikings and the Lions. Those are 2 playoff teams. Yeah, you're right. But I think this team's better than 11-6. It's just that they were in a division where the top 2 teams were 14-2 going into week 18. And that's never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Packers win. I think they certainly cover the 4-point underdog. Mm-hmm. And I'm picking them to win outright.
What about the over-under?
45.5.
I think I'm inclined under here.
Oh, I was going to say over.
Really?
Yeah. 46 points. I mean,
I don't know how many points you're going to get from the Packers here, but
I think you can get to 27.
Okay.
I think you can get to 27.
All right.
3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. It's not bad.
Gosh, my dog.
What's your pick?
I wrote down a bracket today.
Oh, okay.
I did, and I had the Packers winning, so I'm gonna stick with it.
I like it. All right.
Packers money line. I don't know.
Send those Eagles packing,
Yeah, both quarterbacks banged up here, and both receiving corps banged up too. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, they'll play, but they're listed as questionable right now. And then you lose Christian Watson. That's why I think I'm kind of leaning the under here. But
okay, there you go.
Both teams can run the ball pretty well, burn a lot of clock. Maybe, I don't know.
All right,
I think I'm under. That's me.
Two more games. Commanders at Bucks. Bucks are favored by 3 at home. Over under is 50.5. I have no read on this game. Like, if I was trying to verbally process this, it would sound like what you did with Packers and Eagles. I don't know. Like, part of me is like Jaden Daniels is incredible, but then part of me is like Baker Mayfield's incredible and they're at home. Where are you at?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same boat, especially since I don't know what kind of vibes I'm really getting from the Commanders. I mean, they won the last 5 games. Some of those were, they beat the Eagles by 3. They beat the Falcons in overtime. I don't know. I just don't really kind of know where this team stands.
Mm-hmm.
I took a late push against the Cowboys. Jane Daniels didn't look great. Trey Lance looked pretty decent. It's the Bucks at home, but yeah, I agree that the Commanders have a real shot here. I think the Commanders are the better football team. It's just, sometimes Baker Mayfield looks like the second coming of Jesus Christ. So it's really just it is. I think, like you had a couple other toss ups. I think this is another one of those. 50.5. That's a lot of points, but I just feel like
I think there's going to be a lot of points. That's the one thing I feel good about is the over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, both of these teams can score. And Baker Mayfield, that's been so fun this year. And I'm just curious to see how this one goes. This is what time is this one again?
This Sunday night.
The Sunday night game.
Gonna be waiting all day for this one.
This is nice. It's a spicy game. The NFL playoffs, and I think I've called every game spicy to this point. They're all spicy, but this one is particularly so because of the point potential.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for this one.
What's the line again?
50.5, Tampa by 3.
Tampa by 3? Yeah, I'll take Packers. Or not Packers. I'll take
the Commanders.
I'll take the Commanders to win outright and take the over.
I think I'm going to take the Bucks.
Really?
3 is not a lot of points. Like, I could see it. The reason why I'm taking the Bucks is, honestly, I think this game could go to overtime. And then you have a walk-off touchdown and you win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I feel like I'm taking every underdog that I need to mix in some favorites. So I'll take Tampa Bay here.
The underdogs, though, I don't know, for some reason, the way that the matchups fell this year, it really seemed.
I love every dog.
The dogs look really good this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is puzzling. That's the NFL. What's not to love? So any team can win on any given week, and the playoffs are no different. So,
yeah. All right. Final game. Vikings at Rams Monday night. Vikings are favored by 1.5 on the road. Over under is 47.5. What do you think?
Staffy. Oh, Staffy. I don't know.
McVay versus his old assistant, Kevin O'Connell.
Mm-hmm. It's I don't know. Is Kyron Williams PO that he didn't make the Pro Bowl? Like, maybe, I don't know. This game's hard for me. 1 second. Sorry, we're talking kids. Okay. All right, I'm back. Boy, I forgot what I was talking about though. I'm talking about kids.
This game is hard.
My kids. This isn't weird. Can't believe I said that. Yeah, this game's weird. Vikings coming off getting rocked, and then the Rams. I just honestly don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
With the Rams, I don't know.
My
you
thing with the
know,
Rams is just how healthy are they?
right.
Like, is Cooper Cup, I'm using quotation fingers, healthy, and then he has one catch for 6 yards? Or is Cooper Cup going to be running across the field, streaking every single play and have like 9 catches for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Well, hopefully he's not streaking.
Well, you know what I mean.
You know, man, I'm still pissed at Cooper Cup because I traded for him and he got me to the playoffs in a really decent season.
That was with me, right?
Yeah, it was a great trade. I mean, it did me a lot of good the regular season. I moved up the board and then just he crapped the bed. I mean,
what did I get in return for him?
you got a first round pick.
Was that it? Okay.
And then we swapped seconds, and then you got Xavier Worthy, and you got Xavier Worthy a first
That's
and my
right.
second for your second
And Cup.
and Dallas Goedert, who got hurt.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm looking at it right now. So you got Cooper Cup, James Conner, Dallas
James
Goedert,
Conner, that's what it is.
and a 25 second. I got Xavier Worthy a first and a 25 third.
I really don't have any regrets about that, especially since I think
don't
that trade's still going to serve me next year too. I
Yeah.
feel, you know, and I would have kicked both of those guys' butts the next week.
And you got what, third?
Yeah, I got third.
Yeah, so I mean,
I got
that
money
trade
back.
made you $35.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would have squashed them both by 60 points in the championship weekend. I mean, I still feel really good about those guys the next year. So pleasure doing business.
Pleasure doing business.
That's much better than the last trade that you just raked me for before the league blew up.
Yeah.
Really
we all have those, man.
That's all right. Yeah, honestly, dude, I don't know how I feel about this game.
This one, I'm not overthinking it. I'm taking the Vikings.
Okay.
I'm not letting Sunday night deter me. They've been really good. So give me the Vikings, even with the 1.5 points.
And hopefully his fingers are healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, and the line is Vikings by 1.5, you said?
Vikings by 1.5, over under 47.5.
I don't know. I'm really liking the unders in this game, in these games. Take the Vikings to cover with the under.
Okay. I'll take the under as well. All right. You want to talk a little college football playoff before we get out of here?
Let's talk a little college football playoff. So before we get to the games real quick,
yeah.
How are you feeling about the format?
I like it a lot more than the 14 playoff.
Agreed.
I think they need to fix the buys and like the seeding. I think they just need to say, yeah, if you win your conference, it's an automatic bid, but it's not a first round buy. And just say, hey, so here are our 5 conference winners, right? Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12, and whatever group of 5.
And then the next 7.
And then the next 7. And then you take that pool of 12 and you just rank them. I think that's probably what they'll do as early as next year. That's my only complaint. Other than that, I love the format. Honestly, I don't think that they got it wrong. Like, I don't think Bama belonged.
Agreed.
I don't think Ole Miss belonged. I think if you wanted to make a case for anyone, you would make a case for South Carolina, but you couldn't make a case for South Carolina and leave out Bama or Ole Miss. So I think they got it right. I think the SEC,
Ole Miss was the only winner besides Texas.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the Bama thing was ridiculous because all the people arguing for Bama, did you watch Bama this year?
They were not. They just didn't have that that physicality.
Did you watch them lose by 20 to OU?
Yeah.
And then you had the Bama athletic director saying we're going to reevaluate our non-conference schedule moving forward. Dude, all 3 of your losses were to SEC opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you lost to Vanderbilt, you lost to Tennessee, and you lost to OU. You can still go and schedule, New Mexico State if you want to, because that's what you do. Go schedule Appalachia State. That's fine. But
hey, Appalachia State's not a guaranteed win. Just saying.
That was not it. That was not on purpose. That wasn't on purpose. I swear.
I know.
I swear.
I know.
But
Screw you, Jimbo.
yeah, the discourse was gross. That's like kind of college football.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on the format. I kind of wish they just kind of ate. I don't know with the buys. The buys complicate things, but I think if you're gonna do buys, the way that you set it up was the best thing to go, like best way to do it. I think maybe the MLB whiner babies. You think they have some a legit argument now that all 4 teams with buys lost.
Well, I think the big thing is the fact that there was such a it's not just the fact that they had buys, but they had like more than 1 week. Like from the end of the regular season to the first round, then from the first round to the second round. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, let's think about this for a second. Week 16 of actually, yeah, okay. So so the top 4 teams, they all won their conference, right?
Right. They all played on conference championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was Boise, it was Oregon, it was Georgia, and it was Arizona State.
Yep.
So we'll just say December 7th because Boise technically played December 6th. So that was December 7th. Okay. Their next game was on
January 1st or December 3rd.
Yeah, December 31st or January 1st.
That's
so
3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks.
It's insane.
So that's different than baseball where it's like you got to wait like 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they had to December 7th to January 1st is like 3.5 weeks.
I don't know if I get that they want the championship game to be like the last. I mean, it's got to be the last thing, but you can't have somebody go 3.5 weeks without playing a game.
Yeah, that's too long.
You got to figure out some way to, and if college football season needs to finish with the championships on the 31st, maybe you just work it that way. And
move the schedule around, add another bye, do something.
Mm-hmm. Bowls are already going downhill anyway. It gets cheaper and cheaper to sponsor a bowl every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know what they're going to do, especially if they're stupid and expand it to 16, which they might do.
I think they got to figure out the schedule where it's you play your conference championship, and then the next weekend is the first round.
Yep.
And then the next weekend is the quarterfinals.
Yep.
That way it's a 2-week layoff instead of a 3.5 week layoff.
And then you play the championship game like a little bit after New Year's.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Like
bowl season seems like it's forever anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my big takeaway is not necessarily the whole rest versus rest thing. It's like, well, yeah, these guys were off for a month. Like they just finished this 16-week grind.
Yeah.
Or 14-week or however many. And now you just want them to just sit around for these are college kids. You want them to sit around for a month? Right. Over the holidays? Over Christmas and New Year's and then go play football?
Right.
So
that's a valid point. I think there is a legitimate case here for buys, the time that you haven't played compared to the MLB where you get 5 days off.
Exactly. Exactly.
All
right. So what do you think of these teams? Or what do you think of these matchups? Texas versus Ohio State, Penn State versus Notre Dame.
These are fun games. The winner of the Texas Ohio State game is going to win the national championship. So I think.
I think it's either Ohio State or Notre Dame. I don't think Texas can beat Notre Dame.
I really hate both of the teams that you just mentioned. But really, I hate all of these teams except for Penn State. So,
same. I do too.
Like Notre Dame and Texas are the 2 teams that I hate most in all of football and everything. Like it is Texas, then Notre Dame, then a very long stretch, and then probably Ohio State. just because my dad was raised in Michigan, and so we root for Michigan. I don't know. Texas, I mean, you can argue that they grinded it out, and got the difficult win. But I mean, Ohio State just hanging what they did on the number 1 team.
Dude, I mean,
it was diabolical what they did to Oregon that game. I mean,
was them losing to Michigan the best thing that could have happened to them?
It was absolutely the best thing that could ever happen to them. And
because they have locked the heck in since then.
It was fun. It was just fun to watch that game. I mean,
because they blew out Tennessee too. Like they beat Tennessee 42-17, and they beat Oregon 41-21.
They were up 34-0.
To nothing
in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Ohio State. Ohio State's going to win.
I think so too.
Texas, all year I've been saying, oh, they're not that good. Oh, they're not that good. Oh, they're not that good. And they're better than I thought, but they're not Ohio State good.
No.
They're just not.
Honestly, I think the only team that has a chance is Notre Dame. Like to beat Ohio State.
Yeah, I just don't think that Notre Dame is going to be able to put up the points.
Yeah, but I think their defense is good enough to where they can suppress Ohio State a little bit.
Yeah. Part of me, Georgia only put up 10, but you don't really know what. I mean, that was backup quarterback. Side note, Carson Beck. That was stupid. It was really stupid. But yeah, I mean, I'll give it to Notre Dame. Their rush defense is formidable, but Ohio State, Will Howard, they just freaking sling it. So,
yeah.
And I mean, so Will Howard had 319 yards on 17 completions. Like, it's pretty good. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. And then you got, Travion Henderson, obviously. I mean, are we too quick to write off Penn State here?
Well, okay, let me pull up the spreads. The spreads for these games.
I think the Penn State Notre Dame, I think that spread's going to be closer.
Notre Dame by 2.5 and Ohio State by 5.5.
Yeah.
I'll make my picks real quick. I think Ohio State wins. I think they cover the 5.5. And I think Notre Dame wins and they cover the 2.5. I think it's Ohio State versus Notre Dame. And it's the contest of how it's going to set records for the amount of Americans who are rooting for both teams to lose somehow.
The only game that would break that record is if it was Texas and Notre Dame.
I think Ohio State's more hated than Texas.
You do?
Yeah. I do.
Mean, Texas has the hate of 2 conferences now.
But here's the thing about Texas is Sark is likable.
Yeah, I hate that. He's likable. And
Ryan Day is not.
Quinn Ewers is likable.
Like Ryan Day is like the least likable coach in college football.
Who's least likable? Who's less likable than Ryan Day?
Exactly.
I'm trying to think.
Like both Ohio State and
Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's less likable than Ryan Day. Yeah.
You hate Lane Kiffin.
I hate him.
I'm not a big fan of him either, especially after what he's, all his tweeting.
What was the Baylor guy? What's his name? I forgot. Art Briles. He's more hateable.
Well, he's not in college football anymore.
He's not. Good riddance.
It's like that's like saying who was the Penn State guy?
Jerry Sandusky.
Jerry Sandusky. Yeah.
Joe Paterno.
Yeah, gosh. Oh yeah, Joe Paterno was the actual coach. Sandusky was like the assistant.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ryan Day. Yeah, I think you have an argument there.
I think that's the national championship we're heading towards, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I am rooting so hard for Penn State to win.
Yeah. They have the best quarterback, I think. So that gives them a shot.
I don't know. Aller versus,
I trust him the most.
Allen doesn't really turn the ball. He doesn't. I think he turns the ball over the least. Like his touchdown to interception ratio is the best. I think. Riley Leonard, Riley Leonard's just a dog, though. I mean, he's physical. He can run. I don't know.
Yeah.
Notre Dame just doesn't have that standout receiving core. Not that Penn State does, but Penn State's receiving core is better than Notre Dame. I don't know. They're gonna ride the defense the whole way. I just don't know if Penn State can put up enough points.
All right. So what are your official picks?
I think I'm with you. I'll take Ohio State to cover and Notre Dame to cover.
And then who wins it all?
I'll take Ohio State to cover.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's going to be close though. It's going to be a close game, but I think Ohio State wins.
Ohio State hangs it on them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And then we all thank God that it's next year's coming.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up the podcast?
Nope.
Okay.
Go Rangers.
Well, so yeah, go Rangers.
Less than 50 days till pitchers and catchers report.
Oh, heck yeah.
I can't wait.
So my lovely baby mama got me this daily dad jokes calendar. So you get a dad joke a day.
You haven't started it?
No, I have. I just wanted to show the title.
Oh,
okay.
You're not peeling it off like a normal person?
No, I will, but I wanted to show the title.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I will.
We're 6 days in. Why have you not pulled that one off yet? Do you not pull
because
the title
I
off?
haven't gone. It's going to go on my work desk. I haven't gone into the office yet.
Oh, so you're just going to spam yourself with dad jokes like the first day? You're going to be like, ha, and then just do the
Well, I've
next
looked at the first couple.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
do you want to hear the one for today?
Let's do it.
Americans can't switch from pounds to kilograms overnight. That would cause mass confusion.
That's a good one. What's the best one from the last 5 days? That one was pretty good.
Why does Sherlock Holmes love Mexican restaurants? They give him good case ideas.
Oh, that's bad, but good. That's
why did the deer get braces? He had buck teeth.
That's a good one.
So, all right. Austin, thanks for joining this week.
Dude, glad to be back.
Always a pleasure.
New Year was crazy. Glad to get back in it. So
yeah, me too. Thanks to everyone tuning in. We will be back next week breaking down all the action from the wild card round of the NFL postseason, as well as the semifinals for the college football playoff. Cannot wait for all that. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
Nice.
Good pod, dude.
Good pod. It was fun.
That was fun.